Good morning. Welcome. I'm John, and I'll be joined by my colleagues Jana and Olaf, and together for about the next hour and 15 minutes or so, we'll be talking you through what's new in Excel. We'll show you what Excel's been up to since the last Ignite. We've got a few brand new features we're announcing at this year's Ignite we want to share with you, and then a lot of progress and updates we've made on some features we announced just a few months ago. So before we dive into the demos, let's start with a little bit of context. Some of you might have seen some of these stats and some of the keynotes earlier at the conference. I was particularly impressed by, it was interesting to see that 75% of workers don't have the latest technology to do their job efficiently. So it sort of implies that A, they don't feel like they're being as fast as they can when they're doing their job, and so maybe it's harder than it needs to be, and B, they're aware of better technology that's out there, maybe at other places. And on that note, 2 out of 5 employees have said they would actually quit their job over poor workplace technology. So I think we've all known that the right technology at the right time can solve problems and increase sort of the bottom line for a business. But this actually means it's actually becoming a competitive differentiator when it comes to attracting, recruiting, acquiring, and retaining talent. So this is going to be something that I think in the future people will be deciding on as they consider careers at different companies. And so if you drill down one click further, let's take a look at some of the pain points that affect people that are trying to get meaning out of data. And so really there's sort of 4 pillars here that we're going to talk about. The first is, just giving people a bunch of numbers and data doesn't cut it anymore. They need a way to spot trends, visualize what's going on, find outliers, and make sense of it. But not everyone can actually leverage the modern analysis methods. Like, not everyone's a data scientist. Not everyone sort of is a pivot table expert, knows how to get in and use these kinds of features that are a bit more advanced. And so they need a sort of a new generation of solutions that's going to help them get those insights. And then the third one is that the nature of work is changing quite a bit. I've been working at Microsoft for quite a while now. I've been visiting customers for years. And it's been really amazing to see the trend, particularly over the last few years, about how collaborative the environment is becoming. People are starting to just expect real-time collaboration across any device as just table stakes. So I've seen people that prefer to do all of their work in the browser, like not the desktop software. I've seen people that use tools on desktop and they augment what they're doing with the phones. So I think people expect work on the device that they prefer, and they expect it to be collaborative so they can work with one another in a very open way. Then, of course, we all know technology moves really fast. So the right technology is critical here because you build something in the wrong stack, it can be outdated in months, weeks, or sometimes even days. And so these are kind of the 4 pillars that we're going to be talking about. And we'll be talking about Excel's role in these 4 pillars and how we are giving you intelligent visualized solutions to help you make sense of more than just numbers. And we're going to show you progress we've made in some of our analytics tools to help you get into the data, start making sense of it easier and faster than ever before. We want to share with you the story of collaboration. I've talked to a few customers at the conference, and some of them weren't even aware that Excel was collaborative, that it sort of works in real time, and you can party together on the same file without locking each other out. And again, this works across the full suite of devices, be it phones, browsers, or desktop. And then we want to talk about the rate of improvement. All of you have been hearing about M365 and O365. I joined the Excel team a long time ago, and we used to ship versions every 2.5 to 3 years. Those days are long gone. The speed and velocity at which you get improvements to the product and updates to the product is just tremendous now. We're taking desktop client software, and in our fastest ring of deployment for the people that are on our service, you're getting multiple builds a week. You can choose to have them once a month, or you can choose a sort of a slower cadence if you'd like. But those days of getting a new version and deploying it, maybe every 5 to 7 years and having this giant upgrade to wade through are over for people that are on the service. And now you just you're on the latest, you're on the greatest, it's up to date, it's small incremental changes, it's sort of much easier to manage and deal with there. And of course, Excel is it's a very mature product with a very storied history, and it is the most widely used tool in the world for analyzing data and making decisions from it. Just the size and scope of the product is really impressive. And I think the 3 of us presenting today feel really privileged to be working on it. But it's used on over 500 million unique devices every month. I think there's something like 1.5 billion file opens that happen every day. And if you look at just the amount of people that are committing a formula to a cell every second, there's something around 20,000 commits every second, which is just, the scale of it is just huge. And so we're going to dive into the demos now and start showing you what we're doing to evolve that to the next step and what we've been up to there. So let me switch over here. And actually, we're going to start not with the demo sort of right in Excel, but we're actually going to start from paper. Because not all of the work in the modern era starts in the virtual space. Sometimes it starts in the physical space. So people maybe get a PDF printout that's got a table of data you need to analyze. It could be something that's handed out at a meeting, or I was visiting a customer recently and they had a shop manual and it had sort of data in a table with some tolerances, and they wanted to get that in a spreadsheet to work with it. And so we're announcing a new feature at Ignite, and it's insert data from pictures. So I've got a cell phone here. Let's make sure you can see that. And what I've got here is just Excel on the phone. It's a blank grid. And what we're going to do actually is take a picture of that table of data, and we're going to transform it and get it in Excel. So at the very bottom here, you can see there's a little grid with a camera icon. That's the insert data from picture button. And we'll see how well this works on stage with all the wires and the shadows. But let's give it a shot here. So I'm just going to take a picture of it. And so now that I've got this red check to accept that, I can also crop the picture if I'd like. So if I click the crop, I can sort of zoom the picture in and out to sort of, get to the right piece of data. And then I'll accept that one. Let's see how well this works. It's pretty dark and shadowy here. So this is sending it off to the service now, and we've gotten it back. And you see what it's done? It's sort of given me this little grid at the top of the screen, and it shows me all of the data that it's captured. And you can see there's columns, there's rows, there's text, there's numbers. And you notice there's a red square there. And that's telling me that that's a place in the picture where it's a little bit less confident that it got the result right. And so at the top it says there's one item to review. I can click review, or I can just reach into the grid and tap that red square. Now at the bottom of the screen, you'll notice it's actually shown me the image and then sort of drawn a red rectangle around to tell me that this is what I'm looking at. And you can probably see that's where I scratched the number out and penciled it in by hand. So no surprise it didn't get it right. I can barely read my own handwriting most days. So I'm going to go ahead and click Edit. And now I can change that cell, and that'll be the number 3. And I'll click Done at the top. So now I've got the number 3 there. There's no more items that require a review. So from there, I can just click Insert. And then just like that, I've got a table of data in Excel. And at this point, it's just text and numbers, so I can sort of do what I want with it. And so we think this is going to be a huge productivity time saver for folks, particularly where you've got, this is much, much faster and easier than just typing it in by hand. And the ability to just correct the data as part of the workflow, we think is going to be really big for people that are moving data from the physical into the virtual world. So let's go over and take a look at another new feature that we're announcing at Ignite. And this one is a big change to the Excel platform. And what I mean by that is we've increased the ability of the calculation engine in a pretty dramatic way. So let me show you. First, let me set the problem up. I've got a table here, and it's actually the same data and the same shape as I just took a picture of. So let's just assume it's in the future now, and I've added more rows to it. I've made it a table, and I'm starting to build a report. So what I've got is I've got an invoice number on the left side, and then I've got a list of products. And you can see some of these products are unique, some repeat. There's binoculars a couple of times, there's tents a couple of times. And then in the next column, I've got a list of states where these were sold. And then I've got how many units were sold, and then I've got the price per unit, and I've written a formula to just calculate the total sale. Pretty simple. This table is actually pretty long. I've hidden some rows, but if you notice over here on the side, it goes from row 25 to row 744. So this is nearly 750 rows of data. I've just shortened it up because I'm going to change the size of the data here soon, and I want you to be able to see that. So what I want to do is actually I want to go through, and for every unique product, I want to find out the total units sold. That's the challenge. Now, so for those of you that have been using Excel for a while, you could put this in a pivot table maybe. If you know how to use pivot tables, you can sort of get that summed up. But there are some drawbacks to that. It doesn't work with some other things in Excel. It doesn't, for example, recalc automatically if you add new data. And so some people prefer to work in the grid and just do the modeling using formulas in the grid. So there you get sort of automatic recalc and all of those advantages. But to do this in the grid would take me between 7 and 9 steps. I'd have to add 2 or 3 helper columns, and I'd have to get all those formulas just right. And then if the size of the data changed, I'd have to go back and readjust all those formulas manually to make sure it still added up the right way without an error. And so with dynamic arrays, those days are over. This just became a really simple task. And so to help unleash some of the power of these, we've introduced 7 new functions. I'm going to show you a couple of them. One of them is unique. So there's the unique function. And what unique does is this actually going to return me a list of values. It's going to return an array of values, all of the unique things from the column. Again, up until now, things in Excel have typically returned a single value. And so I'm going to go ahead and select the products column and say, give me all of the unique things from the products column. There's a couple of other optional arguments on the function. I don't need those now, so I'm just going to press enter to commit it. And then just like that, we've got all of the unique things from the list. And you notice that returned something that has this nice little rectangle drawn around it. And what that's telling me is that's saying that's a dynamic array. Like all of those values belong together sort of as a single object. So arrays are now first-class things in Excel. And if you look up at the formula bar, you notice the cell that I didn't enter the formula in this cell. In the formula bar, it's kind of grayed out looking. And what that tells me is that cell is the result of a formula, but that's not the cell it was entered in. And so we've tried to keep these dynamic arrays very lightweight and easy to work with. And if I arrow up to the anchor cell where I entered the formula, you can see the formula bar is lit up, and I can go ahead and start editing the formula from there. And dynamic arrays don't just work with the new functions we're shipping, they work with existing functions as well. So to finish the problem, I want to add up for all of those unique things how many units were sold. So I'll just do a SUMIF. For those of you that have been using Excel for a while, you'll recognize that function. It's been around in the product for a long time, but dynamic arrays work with it too. So I can say SUMIF, anything from the product range, and the criteria is it matches anything in my array. So now, in old Excel, you'd have to select the range you want to look at, but with dynamic arrays, you don't have to do that anymore. There's a little shorthand here, which is I'll pick the anchor cell I started the array in, and I'm just going to insert the pound symbol. And what that means is give me the results of the entire array regardless of its size. Like I don't have to worry about how big it is anymore. And then I'm going to finish it by saying, hey, let's actually add up for any of those matches whatever's over in the units column. And then just like that, you get an answer. So again, this used to be 7 to 9 different steps with all kinds of room for errors. We think this is going to be a huge game changer for people. And so now let's talk about what happens if the data changes. And wouldn't you know it, I just happen to have extra data kind of laying around in the grid. So let me grab that. And let's move it back up to the top here. And so I'm going to paste this in. There's a bunch of new products that aren't in the list. So what I want you to watch is not so much the table, but watch the arrays that I just entered as I do the paste here. And so, boom, the arrays just updated. They got longer because they needed to. Again, because these are driven by the calculation engine. And so it understands when things need to get shorter or longer, and it just adjusts that for you. So those 2 examples, we're just using sort of single dimension arrays, but they also work with 2-dimensional things. So this time, I want to introduce you to another new function we're adding. It's the filter function. So I want to filter the entire body of this table, and I want it to include anything where the destination column, the state, matches or is equal to whatever I've got going on in this cell up here. Then again, there's another optional parameter I can tell it what to do if it gets something that's empty, but I'm going to hit enter, and again, just like that, it works with 2D arrays too. So I've sort of got the entire table, but now filtered. So you can do things like sorts and filters now in the grid as part of your logic modeling. And so I've got some nice formatting on the grid there, you'll notice. And so these arrays, they spill out. But what would happen if there's actually some content in the grid? So I'm going to go ahead and comment this function out. And so now it's just a piece of text. I just put a tick mark in front of it. And that's kind of Excel speak for, hey, just make this text for the moment. And what if there's text in the grid? And what if there's maybe some text over here and over there? So now let's go ahead and turn that function back on. So let's run the filter again. It'll recalculate. And you see, it wanted to spill, but it can't because you've got contents in the grid, and it's not going to just destroy your data. So what happens here, when I get that pound spill error, I can select the cell, and it shows me the range that it wants to spill to. So in this case, it's really easy to see where the obstructions are. And this is pretty real. So if I actually change this from Georgia, let's say to Hawaii, and this cell is just hooked up to a pick from list, long-standing Excel feature. Hawaii is a smaller range. You can sort of see even the pound spill error got smaller because it knows the bounds of the new array. And in fact, it's simple here because I can see the cells. I can just select them and delete them. But if this was a much larger range, then I could do something like select the obstructing cells, and Excel will do that for me. So it'll actually go through and just select all of those, and then I can mash the delete key, they clear out, and then the array just spills again. So these are super flexible, super easy to use in the grid. And again, like I said, they're part of the platform, so they're not just for those new functions. So, for example, let's go over here and say equals. I'm just going to select a range of numbers. No functions here, there's no magic. You know, in old Excel, if I did this, I would get a single number in the cell, or I would get an error depending on where I entered it. But now, with dynamic arrays, if I ask for a range of numbers, then I get a range of numbers back. You can think of it as like a single value returning to the cell and then spilling out across the grid. And Excel's smart about how it works with these. So again, here's another existing function, transpose. And I want to transpose the contents of the entire array. Here's that shorthand notation again. You see how it selected for me automatically when I used it. And again, then I can transpose it, so now it's going sideways. And if I'm doing math or operations on these, it knows how to do them element-wise. So I can do something like, let's take the entire contents of this array. There's that pound symbol shorthand. I want to multiply by the entire contents of this other array. And I hit enter, and I get a two-dimensional array where we've sort of done the math element-wise. And again, I mentioned these are flexible and easy to work with in the grid. So even though there's something in that cell, and again, I can dereference any cell from the array. I can just like you're used to doing, I can say equals that cell, and I get the value back. But if I also come up here and I start typing in the grid accidentally, and I hit enter and commit it, it'll go ahead and commit that change to the cell. It'll just roll your array up. You didn't lose any data. The calculations are still there. They're still intact. It's now just going to sort of pass an error up so you can see where it is. And again, if you select it, you see the error, you see the range, you can delete it. Everything will just respill, super fluid. We think this is going to be a huge game changer for people that are doing advanced modeling in Excel. In fact, I got an email from one of the MVPs 2 nights ago who just said this was amazing. He had a spreadsheet that was 200,000 formulas. He rebuilt that. Again, these were things copied in this huge table, many cells or formulas copied down. Rebuilt it with arrays with a single formula. And again, because these are functions, you can nest them. So he rebuilt it with one function that produced a dynamic array, got the same results in the file. It calculated in half the time. And get this, the file size was 99% smaller. So again, you know, if you think about applying this to your existing models, instead of worrying about formulas and getting them down to be exactly the right length, and every time you do that, it's another bit of room for error. You can rewrite those with dynamic arrays, and Excel will do that stuff for you. So that feature we are announcing at Ignite, it's now available for preview. It'll be rolling out sort of the insider's preview over the next few months. So let's change gears. Let's talk about another feature. So arrays was one example of a cell now getting a little smarter and being able to hold multiple values. It didn't keep them in the cell, it spilled them across the grid. But data types is a feature we announced earlier this year, and it is a good example of multiple values in a single cell. So today, in a cell, you generally have only been able to work with text or numbers. There's also some booleans and errors, of course, but it's mostly text or numbers. And you can see in this table here, I've got a column of text, but they mean states, right? These are supposed to be states in the US. And so with data types, we're introducing the ability for Excel to have more compound or complex objects in cells. So I'm going to go up to the ribbon here and hit the geography button. And what that's going to do is going to send all that text up to the cloud. And this is powered by the Microsoft Knowledge Graph. It's an intelligence service we had. It's going to recognize those mean the states and then return me data types that represent those states. So I've got this icon next to it. You might see it sort of light up when I mouse over it. If I click it, then you'll see there's a card, and that's Alabama, and I can sort of explore all of the values there, and there's lots of data we have. And this isn't just states. It works with cities, it works with countries, zip codes, So we think there's a lot of scenarios for the geographic data type to augment data you already have. So for example, if you have a list of zip codes, you need to get the cities, just convert them to data types, and then you can just dereference and pull the city out. And pulling stuff out and working with these is super easy. So let's say I wanted the population. I can click this little widget on the card, and it extracts it to the grid. Make the column a little wider. And you can see there's the population values. And if you notice up in the formula bar, that didn't just copy the data. It actually wrote a formula for me and dereferenced it and pulled the population out into the grid. So now I can do stuff like, maybe insert a map chart to get a map of the US. So there's my map chart. And there's the US by population. But you may notice New York is gray because there's no data for it. So I've actually left it out of the data set. So I'm going to type New York in a cell now. And notice this is just sort of down here all alone in the grid. And when I convert that to a data type, because there's no context, the service, the Microsoft Knowledge Graph is going to ask me, well, which New York did you mean? Because there are many. And over here, the data selector pane opens up, and I can see there's the state, there's the city, there's a place in Lincolnshire, England, and there's even a county in Iowa, it looks like. So I can explore any of these in the task pane. And when I find the one I want, let's say, I can select it, and then the cell will sort of become that data type. But let's go ahead and delete that, because I want it in my list, so it's the US state. Let's go down to the bottom here, and I'll type in New York. Now, there's two things to pay attention to here. Just like in Excel today, if I have a list of things that are formatted as dollars, and I enter something new at the bottom of it, Excel will assume you want more dollars, and it'll apply that format for you. So the grid has a little bit of intelligence built in. The service, on the other hand, when I type in New York here and commit it, it actually is aware of the context. So it'll say, hey, you are in a list of states, so therefore you want the state New York. And when I enter that, you'll see indeed the service goes ahead, calc fires, it returns the data type, and it did indeed give me the right data type. So I've got the state now. And so these data types work with a lot of features in Excel. So if I wanted to filter or sort, I can always unpack in the grid and pull things out. But for filter, I can always just open the column that's got the data types. And at the top, I've got this select field, and I can drop that down. This gives me access to all of the fields that are on those data types. So time zone, for example. And let's say I just want to get rid of the central time zones. To do my analysis, I hit OK. Everything updates, and there you go. So these are plumbed through a bunch of features in Excel. And it's not just geography. We also work with financial instruments. So in this case, I've got a fictional stock portfolio. And you notice these are just strings now. Some are stock tickers, some are company names, some have some typos in them. But I'm going to go ahead and just select that column and say, let's convert to stock data type. And again, it comes back, it fixes up the names so they properly represent the company or the financial instrument. And again, it's not just stocks, it's mutual funds. There are other financial instrument types it works with. And again, these are all real, so I can click the icon, I can see all of the values that are there. There's all of the data from the markets are open now, so we'll sort of see how this is going to go. But again, it's easy to work with. So this time I'll pick the widget on the table. That gives me an easy way, a fast way to access all of the fields. And I'll just pull out ticker symbol. Then maybe I want to compute the value of my portfolio. So I'll create a new column for that. And the value is just the price times the shares. Now I could pull the price field out into the grid and have a column of price and work in the grid. But I can also just get it directly through using formulas. So I'll say equals, I'll select the cell with the data type, and I immediately get this little pop-up sort of giving me all of the fields. And I'll just go down to the price field, and we want to multiply the price times the number of shares. And Excel will take that formula and fill it down the table for me. So again, really lightweight, really easy to access all of the formulas. All of the fields through formulas. And now that I've got it, I can sort of finish building out my dashboard. I'll take these two columns, I'll insert a nice pie chart, and this sort of gives me an idea of my distribution. I'll kind of put that over here. But again, the data types are values, and so there are other things that means. So for example, I've started putting together a nice little dashboard on this sheet. And all this is it's a data type in a merged cell. The font's a little bigger. I've written formulas to pull different fields out and kind of put them together and tried to resize things and color stuff to make it look nice. So it took me a little while to set up, so I want to reuse it. So I'm just going to copy-paste that. So let's copy it. I'll go back over here, and I'll start pasting it in just to finish building on a dashboard. You'll notice the table is changing because I've got taller rows now that I'm inserting when I do the copy, or the paste rather. And So there we go. Let's make these cells a little wider so I can read all of the data. So there's my dashboard, but I don't want to just see Microsoft over and over. And so in Excel, just like if I type a piece of text in a cell, I can do what's called overtyping. I can just click on the cell, type a new piece of text, hit enter, and it'll change it, right? It's long-standing behavior. It works with data types as well. So this cell knows it's a data type, and if I type something else in, Amazon, let's say, and I hit enter, I just overtyped, and there we go. It's come back from the service. I'm going to make this a little wider. So it knew it was a data type. So if you type something new in there, it's going to assume it's a data type again and just resolve it to the right data type. And it works with formulas too. So in this one, I'm going to change it to be a formula. Let's say CarMax over here. I'll hit enter, and sort of there's CarMax. So again, these are truly values in cells. They're incredibly lightweight, really easy to work with. And the last thing on data types to show you is here's the entire contents of the S&P 500. I didn't realize this until we were putting the demo together, but there's actually 505 instruments in the S&P 500. So we're going to try and convert all of them now. And again, this is over sort of, conference internet, so bear with me for a few seconds. This gives you an idea of sort of the speed of it. And so I've just resolved those. Now keep in mind, I didn't just get the names of the companies or just the prices. I actually got all of the data for these instruments, all of the fields, in just a few seconds for over 500 instruments. And so it's easy to unpack that. So I can say, let's get the ticker symbol. I'm using autocomplete this time. And maybe I want the industry that everything is in. So it's really quick and easy to build a table out. Maybe here I want to get the volume, let's say. And then maybe over here I want to get the change percentage to see how much has changed. So now I've got this table of data, but how do I make sense out of it? So I could start coloring cells, I could start sorting and filtering and trying to find some trends. But we've got another feature, and that is ideas. This is something we announced earlier this year, and it's coming to GA now. But I'm going to go ahead and click ideas. I don't even need to be in the table. It'll sort of find the table for me. It'll select it, and then it'll start running some analysis as part of an intelligent service. And you can see, now, caveat, this is real market data from right now. So I'm not actually sure what the insights are going to be, but let's take a look through. So you can see here I've got some charts that are telling me, in the industry electronic components, TEL has noticeably lower change. In oil and gas, COG, I'm not sure what company that is, has a higher volume, so something's going on there. And I can scroll down and keep looking through these. In asset managements, BEN and STT have a lot of trading activity going on right now. And so notice the title of these charts. It's actually sort of a sentence trying to explain what that insight is in natural language. And then if I like one of these, let's say I'm interested in this one, I can always hit Insert Pivot Chart. It will create a new sheet. It'll give me the pivot chart with a pivot table. And that's just a pivot table. So if you know how to use pivots, you can start going in there, you can repivot, you can add things, you can start doing your analysis. It's a nice jumping off point. And likewise, some of these are charts. Let's see if we've got any in here. Most of these are pivot charts right now. Notice down at the bottom, there's 34 results. And so I can look through more. We might do that in just a second. But let's add another column first. Let's add price. So now I've added the price. Let's run ideas again to see if it generates anything else interesting. You sort of never know what you're going to get with real-time market data. So let's open the 34 results. And I can scroll down and look through the rest of these to see if I find anything that I think is interesting. Let me show you a data set I was working on the other day. Let's run insights on this one here. And this is, again, same idea, just it's data from a few days old. And you notice that this time, it actually pulled out a cluster. It said the change percentage in the volume appeared to form a cluster with 2 different outliers. And it'll also identify trends when it sees them. So there are lots of different insights you can get. And again, on these, I could hit Insert Chart. It drops a chart in the sheet, and I can get started with more analysis. Now, I added the column price, and if I wanted to run this again, I could, again, change the column. Let's go ahead and run this. So I can go in and edit my grid, but sometimes I don't want to do that. I might want to change just what the engine is looking at. And so up here, I can click on Customize Results. Now, this is an improvement to the feature that we're talking about. This will be rolling to preview soon. But I can come in here and I can sort of deselect things that I don't think are interesting. So maybe I don't want to look at volume anymore, and we can just look at it that way. And I can also come over here and say, hey, how are you treating it? Are you treating it as a sum or an average? I can actually change it. Or maybe it's not a value that you're going to go compute on in terms of numbers. So I can remove volume. I can update it. Ideas will run again. It'll give me a new set of insights. And so it's really easy to sort of play with it and tell it which parts of the data to look at. So that is insights. And let me switch back here. So I've just shown you 4 features. 2 of them, the first 2 we announced earlier this year, new data types. So you can take cells beyond just text into richer objects that you can work with. We showed you 2 classes of data types. There's geography. There are great scenarios there for augmenting your data. And we showed you the stock data type. So it's great for people that are doing sort of portfolios in Excel. That is being announced for general availability. That'll be coming to GA over the next few weeks. And then I showed you ideas. So that is a great way to automatically detect patterns, outliers, trends. For your beginning users, it gives them access to analysis that might have been impossible before. But it's useful for even your more advanced users because it's nice just to be able to open that task pane and slide through a bunch of those to get some idea of what's going on in your data before you start your analysis. And you may see one of those, and you can use it as a jumping off point to go deeper. That's also being announced for GA. That's rolling out over the next few weeks. It's been in English so far, but we're actually going to start rolling ideas out in other languages. And so that means the actual engine, the intelligent engine in the cloud, is going to be able to deal with data in other languages. And then new at Ignite, we're announcing insert data from picture. That should be a productivity game changer for people that are moving tabular data that's printed out, and they want to get it into Excel and analyze it. Should be a huge time saver. And then last, but certainly not least, there's dynamic arrays. For people that are formula authors and core builders in Excel, that is a must-know feature. That is going to be a game changer that changes how spreadsheets are built. There's 7 new functions on that one. And if you want to learn more about that one, I encourage you to come to the Friday session about advanced analytics, and we can get a lot deeper on that one. There's also a theater session on dynamic arrays where we'll just dive down into the details and show you more tips and tricks. So with that, I wanted to hand off to Olaf, and he's going to come up and talk about modern analytics.
Thank you. So for the next section, I was going to jump straight into demos and just talk about a little bit about modern analytics and what you can do there. What we just showed you is how to work with formulas, pull in data, make rich data types, do a lot of interesting things like that. What I would like to show is how you can actually pull in external data into Excel as well, automate that whole process, clean your data, easily share your data, do things around that. So let's switch to the demo environment. So here, so I'm in Excel, and what I'm going to try to do here in the demo is just show you how you can work with files and clean up things. You know what happens a lot is people send you Excel files and you drop them all in a folder every time, and then you're going to have to either copy-paste those into your weekly or monthly report and then update all that stuff and then share that Excel file out again, right? But you can automate all those things. Same if you have a server or some app that generates a log file every day and you want to actually get insights in those. So I'm in an Excel file here. I have a pivot table. I have some cool data in there. I'll get back to that data. That's kind of the end result of this. But you can click on the data tab here. And if you notice, the data tab actually has changed quite a bit. First, we have a bunch of new icons. But second, get and transform actually by default is now powered by Power Query. Now, all your other connections are still there as well. You can connect to those. But if I click here on Get Data, you can see I actually have a lot of different options. I can get data from a workbook or a CSV file or from a SharePoint folder. That's actually the one I'm going to use today, and I'll show you how I work through that. But I can also get data from databases, from Azure, online services, or a whole host of other services there as well. And so this is a really cool way to connect to all the data that's out there. Now to show you what I've done here is I'll open the Power Query editor. And in here you see I've actually created a whole bunch of different connections already, but I'm going to focus on margins today. And so in here in margins, you see a table that I have that is nice and clean, and it's already the end result, right? And so what this table actually did is it came from a SharePoint folder with a whole bunch of files in it that were actually kind of dirty and had MP3s in them and stuff like that. And so I'll walk through the steps, what Excel actually does. Because if I click on refresh, it will just get the new data and just pull it straight into Excel. But actually what it does is it goes, every time it does a refresh, it will go through all those steps. So if I start on the top, you'll see the source. I can click on there. And you'll see it's actually just a SharePoint site. And so for those SharePoint people in the room, normally, like if I wanted to get to a document library, I would actually type the full URL to the document library. You don't want to do that. You just want to do the top level site that you want. And so in this case, I'm saying I want to look at the sales site. And I say enter. And what you get back is this list where you see everything that we know about that folder, or actually all the document libraries and all the folders that you have on SharePoint. And so the first thing I could do is just look at extensions and say, well, I'm only looking for Excel files. So let me filter out Word documents, or you see here somebody dropped an MP3 in there. You know, that would totally mess up my query. And so you can filter those out. I've done that. So I have a nice little list of Excel files. But you could also go in here to the folder path and actually click on there and then filter out on that one specific document library or that one folder where all the files are. And so there's different ways to get to your data that way. The next, we removed a couple of columns, cleaned it a little bit, filtered out some other stuff I didn't need. And then here it says invoke custom function. But really what it did is I expanded, we clicked on here and we said combine the files together. And so it added a new column here where it actually shows me the tables of those. And so now I can actually clean all the other columns out, because that's the other cool thing in Power Query. I can actually do steps like this and make calculations or do some stuff with columns. And once I'm done with that column, I can remove it. And because it does it always in the right steps, you end up with really clean little things. Now, one of the cool things that you see here is that we have this one column that is name, and it's actually the file name. And that turned out to be very useful, because a lot of times people will, in the reports in Excel, right, they have some data, in this case for countries, some sales numbers, but they never put a table header in there that says this is the country for which this data came, right? It's just in the file name, which generally is kind of hard to pick out. And so in this case, that's why I'm keeping this column with the file name in it itself. And then I'm going to click on here so that I can actually break open the table and see everything that's in that table. I removed another column there. And so now I broke open the table, and you see I have the source name and all the data in the table, and they're all merged nicely together. Now, I'll do some other cleaning on here. But one of the cool things that I've done is that you see I'll take this source table and actually break it up. So you can click on transform. And in transform, you can do things like split by delimiter or any other different way. In this case, it was really easy to get the country name out of here. So we just simply split it by delimiter, or insert text before delimiter in this case. And so what you see if you do that, I ended up with a new column here. Oh, I got to click there. Ended up with a new column here that is simply called the country name. And after that, I'll reorder some columns and I'll remove some columns, and I'll actually end up removing the first column and replace it, and so drag the order of the column with the column I just created from that first one, right? I know it sounds a little bit complicated, but I ended up with a nice clean column in the beginning that actually replaced the file name. And so now I have country name in my list, and I have things like that. Now, if this is all a little bit too complex, and if you don't know how to go to the transformations and do things like that, we have this new feature. We can actually click on Add Column, and a column from example makes it super easy to do this. If you don't know how to do any of those things I've just done, just simply click on column from example, and I can start typing here. So I can say India sold, and let's say, let's see a number. India sold 500,000 headphones. And if I do enter, you see it instantly picked up, and it actually created that sentence for me. And you see that it now says for each country which product and how much they have sold. Now, if there's mistakes in there, I can actually go to the second line and correct it. Or if I see a mistake, I can go to that mistake and actually correct it, and it will pick up on what I was trying to correct and do the right thing. The other really cool thing is that it actually shows here in the top, it shows me the formula that it created for me. And so this will help you learn what it actually did. So really what it is, it's flash fill. And I'm hoping everybody knows flash fill, right? When you're in a table and you do a new column, and it will flash it down for you right away, and it picks up on the trend, but you never knew like what it really picked out. Like it was just really smart, but you never knew how, and you didn't learn from it. And this is like flash fill on steroids. And so if you click on here, you get that whole formula. I can actually go in and I can change the formula as well, or I can simply say I want to commit. I'm good with that, and it will then add that column at the end for me. See, there you see now we have a column. I can rename the column name if I want to. I can do other stuff with this, right? But you can imagine how cool it is and how easy it is to actually come up with some answers that you don't know how to build yourself, and it will come up with those trends. Now, I'm going to X out of this and not actually save this, but before I do that, one of the things that you want to do here is say close and load to, and mine is grayed out just because I've already done it. But a lot of people talk about like, hey, I'm actually connecting to all those data sources, and I'm going to go way over 1 million rows. And you always hear about like, I can't use 1 million rows in Excel, things like that. And so if you say close and load to, if you load it to your data model, you can go as large as your computer allows you. It really is just dependent on your RAM. I do demos with 80, we're at 8 million, 10 million, 15 million rows easy. It's super fast, and you can work in pivot tables, no problem at all. So I've already done that in this case. So let me close out of here. I'll discard my changes. And so once you load it to the data model and you don't load it to the grid, it will just come back to an empty Excel file, but it actually has all that data in, it's almost kind of like a database inside of Excel. And so to get to that, you click here on Manage Your Data Model. And so in my data model, if I click on there, you're going to see I'm already in that margins table. I can go to all the other tables as well. And you see the exact same table that I've created in Power Query a little bit earlier. But because I pulled in so many different files, right? I pulled in the SharePoint files, but I also connected to other data sources, databases, and what have you. I can set up relationships between those. So if I click on here on the diagram, you can actually see all the different tables that I have, and I just simply drag and drop the relationships between those. So I can now use all that data in my pivot table, and it understands that, oh, India is actually a country, and that country I have a country table for, and I can look up some other stuff and get some really cool insights into that data right away. And so this is where you create those connections. Now, again here, if you don't know how to do this, if you actually start creating pivot tables and you drag in files that don't have a relationship, Excel will actually pop up and go like, hey, there's no relationship, but we think you should make one. Do you want us to auto-detect the relationships for you? And it will actually start building those for you. But you can always come back in here and correct them if we didn't detect them the right way, or if you want to customize something. The last thing I'll show in here, and we have sessions that go super deep in this. You can do day and day trainings on this stuff, but I just wanted to highlight a couple of things. You can write measures in here, and measures are super powerful. Really look at a measure as a formula that you only write once, and you can then use in your pivot table, and it will recalculate, dependent on the pivot, however you wrote that formula, right? So in this case, I wanted revenue variance. And so I do a sum of the target revenue minus the sum of the margin year-to-date revenue. And so I have a little formula in there, and I created a couple of measures like that. I can now just drag those into my pivot table, and it will auto-calculate all those things for me right away and be super fast. Like before, you would have to write a whole bunch of VLOOKUPs, and it would be a lot of work to actually connect all the tables together and get all those formulas to work that way. And so this really, really makes that super easy. Now, the big thing that we're announcing today at Ignite as well is that what you see here, the data model is now available to every SKU in Office. So this used to be in the top tier SKU only for Office, and so now it's available to everybody at every SKU. So you can really work with the power of the data model here. And so I'll close this one. And so coming back to that pivot table that I have here, so if I click on the pivot table, there we go. If I click on the pivot table, you see all those different tables directly in here, and you see the little icon, so you can see it came from the data model. And so I can work with that and just simply drag it in here. Now, this is really cool, right? It's super nice to be able to work with your data that way. And every time I open Excel, all I have to do is just click on the refresh button, and it will go out to all those data sources. It will pick up all the new Excel files that people dropped in the SharePoint folder. It will apply all the cleaning steps automatically for me and just drop all that data in here. I never, ever have to go through any of those steps again, which is super cool. Now, if I wanted to share this with others, All I have to do is just simply click on the share button, and I can share this Excel file with anybody in my enterprise, or depending on if IT allows it, outside of your enterprise, however you like, right? I just type in an email address here. But for some people, the pivot tables and everything that you see in here might be a little bit too complex, or you don't want to give them access to a file that actually has that data model in it. And so what you can do is actually click on File and say Publish, and from here you can publish this to Power BI. And what it will do is it will take that data model and put it in PowerBI.com, and you can make nice, beautiful reports on there. But every time you go back in this Excel file and change the data model, it will actually auto-update the data model in Power BI for you. So you still keep full control in the Excel file itself. Now, Power BI can auto-refresh the data sources, so even without opening the Excel file, it will then update the data sources in your report. And so people can easily consume that data then. They can actually click on Analyze in Excel and have their own Excel file directly connected to the data source in the cloud with the auto-refresh and everything happening. It's a super cool way of doing that. If you want to learn more about that, we'll do a session today at 2 o'clock where I deep dive into Excel and Power BI better together. So that was a quick overview of the analysis. So let me go back into PowerPoint. And so I showed a couple of things here. I showed Get and Transform. We've actually done a lot of improvements around there. We updated a lot of the speed. We did improvements to our connectors for OBDC, OLEDB, OData, SAP HANA. We're always adding new connectors. There's a long list there. Power Query, Power Pivot, the two things I showed just now, are actually shared code between Excel and Power BI. So we're constantly improving those. So if you're familiar with either Power BI or Excel and how to work with those, it's the same thing. You can go back and forth in between those. I've shown you Power Pivot. I told you how it's now available everywhere in every SKU, which is great. And I talked about how to actually get it everywhere. Sorry. The next demo I like to go in is Modern Collab. We have some really cool new things there as well. So let me switch back to my machine. Oh. Let's see. Let me close out of this one really quick. Something changed. There we go. Yeah, sorry about that. Let me open that file. So what I'm going to show here today is a normal Excel file that I'm in. You can see this file came from an online data source, and I'm actually working together in there. And the reason I can tell I'm working together with other people is in here. You just saw that little pop-up that happened here, and you see a little icon for a username. If a person has a picture, it can show up there as well. I can click on there, and you actually see Anne is in here, and she's working with me, and it actually tells me what cell number she's working in. So this is real-time collaboration. We had this for a while, and so that's nothing new here that I'm announcing, right? You can share, like I showed how if you click on the share button, you can just simply share the Excel file with anybody. And then those people can open it right away. If they open it right away, you can actually see that they're starting to come into your Excel file so you can collaborate. And this works on every platform, on Mac and PC, online, and so forth. And so this is really what helps you not having to email the Excel files around as attachments, right? You want to do live attachments, or you want to just send the URL to people so that they always have the latest version, so you always only have a single version of the truth, and you're always working together in that file. And so that's what I'm showing here. You can see that Anne is actually in the file right here, and she's making some changes. Now, this is great, and it's fantastic to be able to work together, right? But sometimes I actually want to talk to people that I'm working with together in my file. And so something I can do is I can make comments. And so normally you were already able to do this in Excel. You could click on a cell and actually write in some comments, right? And people could come back and find the comment and see them. But what I can do now is what you see here is modern comments. So I actually can go in this one and I can read the full discussion that I'm having with people about this comment. But I can also create a new one. So let's say I select something here and I say new comment. I can now actually mention somebody in here right away and simply select their name and then say, can you look at this? and I'll send it. And what will happen is they're now going to get an email that says, hey, somebody actually asked you to look at a cell in this one Excel file. Can you click on it? And if you click on that link, it will open up directly in Excel. You'll see that conversation directly in there, and you can now respond. So you can mention me back going like, yep, I fixed it for you, or no, I'm not going to do that. You know, whatever it is, but you can really work together. So because collab doesn't actually mean you're always together at the exact same time in the document. It actually means we're just working together. You might be in a different time zone. So maybe you picked up on what I just asked you in a couple of hours from now. So when I come back to work, I can see what you were doing, right? So it's not complete real time, but you can do both. Now the other one is like, if I get a lot of comments like this, I might be getting lost, right? You can see in this one, I have this long conversation going, and I might not be able to see all the cells where everything is happening. So I can just simply click on the comments pane here, and it will open the conversation for me. And so what is new is now that you actually have threaded conversation in here. And so it's no longer this long list of just little comments, and you have to figure out who said what and where and reply to what. You can now clearly read it as an actual conversation directly in there. And so both @mention and threaded conversations are new things we've just announced, and they're now rolling out, which is a really cool thing. Let me go back to PowerPoint. So what I've shown here is the modern comments and the @mention. They have a star in front of them, so that we're announcing those things. They're rolling out, they're new. The really, really, really handy features to actually work with. It's crazy, like, I've always worked in our office tools, right? And I've always been super productive. And then once they created the @mention thing, you're like, yeah, like I've been really missing that one feature. It's like you don't even know like how much productivity you gain by it. It's just crazy cool. Co-authoring, like I said, is not new. Has been there for a while now, but it's on every platform. So that's a really cool thing. So let's get John back on stage and talk a little bit about everything we're constantly improving.
Great, thanks, Olaf. Yeah, so the last section here is talking about how fast the product is getting better. We're making it better all the time. I mentioned at the beginning of the talk that we used to ship every few years. Now client builds are shipping multiple times a week. The web is getting updated every day. You know, even builds on mobile devices are getting updated super regularly. There's a ton of feature improvements. This is just a sample. We're reusing this slide from a conference we were at a few months ago, and I was just impressed last night going through this that the list is almost twice as long. So there's various UX improvements that we're making. You know, you see a bunch of these across all of Office. They're in Excel too. Unified Search, that's being announced at Ignite this year. That's also in Excel. And then there's a whole host of performance improvements. I wanted to sort of focus on those for just a moment. We're going to talk about the lookup functions. That is a fantastic one. I'm going to show you a short video in a second. But we've made things like index match, VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, any of these lookup type operations dramatically faster. But we've also sped the rest of the product up. Cell selection, copy paste for filtered rows, formulas with column references. The web app is another one we've done a ton of perf work on. So if you're using Excel in a web browser, if you look at sort of before and after file loads, we look at this internally on the team. I mean, it is just way, way faster, 2, 3, 4 times faster in some cases. So there's a lot of great work that's going on there. Let's drill into the lookup type functions. So I'm going to play a short video here, and I'll talk to it as it goes. Now, this movie isn't super flashy. It's about hardcore performance, but don't be afraid of it. Sometimes what you need isn't flashy stuff. You just need to work faster. The product needs to be more stable. Operations you're doing should be buttery smooth. These are things we spend a lot of time on in the product because when you're sitting behind Excel all day, just the fact that it's much quicker is actually the true delighter. And so on the left-hand side of the screen, I've got the old Excel. That's the before picture. And on the right-hand side of the screen in sort of black, I've got the new Excel with the improvement. And what we're going to show you here is just these large grid of numbers, and we're going to do lookups in each side. So let me start it playing. And so what it's showing you is every cell, and there's about 1 million of them, it's got a couple of lookups. So each cell is doing 2 lookups. So there's a couple of million lookups that are going to be happening here. And it's all going to get kicked off when we type in the letter B at the top of the spreadsheet. That's what's going to kick it off. And you can sort of see that the results are just huge. Lots of big numbers, 2 lookups per cell, a couple million operations. So we're going to get the left side, the old Excel, started here in just a moment. So you can see over here, let's see, we're going to go up to the top, and we're going to type in the letter B, and that kicks it off. So the old Excel is running. And it takes forever. It actually takes about 9 minutes. Again, same PC, same file. Now let's see how fast it's going to be on the new Excel. So it's going, and it is done. So literally from 9 minutes to something that's 3 or 4 seconds long. Yeah, I mean, come on. Just quick show of hands. How many of you have sat behind a spreadsheet that was just sitting there and recalculating like forever, right? Yeah, like watching water boil. So you need this improvement. Like this is the kind of thing you get on the subscription. In fact, I was having an email with some of the folks that are working on this feature, and he said they deployed this to production, and we measured for sort of a day. And there was about 1.5 million uses of Excel that we measured it across. And just on those, you know, when you look at the files that we're using the lookups, I think he said there were about 10.6 quintillion lookups that Excel didn't do because it didn't need to because of this feature. And that is that's 15 zeros. Like, that's a really big number. When you think about that, that's electricity on CPUs that's just not getting spent, right? And that's just for like 1 million sessions. Again, we get like 1.5 million files just getting opened every day. So you think about the amount of electricity that's sort of saving for the world over a year, it's just a huge improvement. So again, must-have upgrade. You've got to get on the subscription to get things like this. But it's not just perf, and it's not just improvements that Office is making with new features that we're announcing and these things. There's also customers asking us for features and improvements. So we have the user voice site, and people go there and they ask. There's a list. People can vote for what they want. The program management team takes that in as a very serious input to any of our planning efforts. And so this slide just has a sample of a few things that we've done over the last year to improve Excel. So, it kind of breaks it out by endpoint. So on mobile, in the bottom right there, we've added things like, you can just select a range and see the sum, count, average right down in the bottom corner. Actually, on a phone, it's displayed at the top. So that lets you sort of just calculate by selecting stuff as you go. On the Mac, we've introduced pivot charts. We've introduced sort of the new visualizations that we've done. We've got a better Visual Basic editor. On the web, we've got pivot table creation, find and replace, data validation, and more. And the web particularly is one, again, the perf improvements there I mentioned earlier, it's dramatically better. And if you look at what we've done on the web just over the last 6 months, there's been a ton of improvements. That thing is getting updated every day. And just watch and see, over the next 6 to 12 months, that product is going to transform. The desktop as well, we're building improvements in all the time, so you can personalize your pivot table layouts. We've got simple things people have asked for, like the ability to sort of get a range and deselect cells from it. Access to superscript and subscript is pretty quick. Collaborative editing, that's something we're investing in constantly. Olaf and Jana just showed a quick demo of that. And that is one that, was something Olaf didn't show. We're working on it now, but we're talking about it at Ignite, is the ability to have private views. So let's say you and some other folks you work with have a giant list, and you're all adding stuff to it and analyzing your data, or maybe signing off as you make the sale, whatever it might be. You might want to just filter that table down to just the rows that you care about, particularly if the list is long. In Excel currently, if you do that, it'll actually filter the view for everyone that happens to be in the file collaborating at the same time. And so we're working on private views as a feature to let you have your own view of the list, but all the data, the calculation models maintained for you. So that's something we're hard at work on. So again, if you're not on the subscription, that's really where you need to be so you can get these improvements and these changes as they roll out. So I want to invite Olaf back up, and he's going to talk about M365 and Excel and how these are better together. Thank you.
There's actually a lot of things that Microsoft 365 brings to the table that make Excel better. So there's a couple of examples on here, and I'm going to demo one in a little bit as well. For example, Excel now has flow integration. I don't know how many people are familiar with flow, but flow allows you to basically set up custom flows. They have like 250-something connectors to different applications, and Excel is integrated in that. There is an Excel connector, so you can actually go to flow.microsoft.com and set up a flow that uses Excel and has a trigger and stuff like that. But now you can also go to Excel itself, and inside Excel there's a flow button. And you can create little flows directly inside of Excel, and if you click on those, they will do something. So you can say, hey, all the rows I've selected, email this. Or all the rows I've selected, tweet them out. Or whatever it is you like to do for different flows, you can start setting those up. And so you can do that now directly from inside of Excel. Other really cool new feature is forms. So forms.microsoft.com or forms.office.com. I'll look at you. Okay. Forms.office.com is a new integration inside of Excel as well. So if you go into Excel, you'll actually see a Forms button, and you can click on there. And if you say new form, it will go out and actually go to forms.office.com. And in there, you can create a new form. Really, really easy. They have a bunch of different options for you. In advanced mode, you can actually start doing branching in your questions and stuff like that. And you get a nice little UI where people can then fill out the form. You can actually preview it on a mobile device or on a browser, and then just email that to people. The cool thing, and the reason you started that from Excel, is that as soon as people start entering data in your form, it will come straight back into your Excel file. It actually does it as a co-authoring session. So if you're in your Excel file, you actually see that the SharePoint app is now in your file as well, and it's just writing to that table while the data is coming in. So you can be working on there and looking at your charts and just live seeing everything happen while more feedback starts coming in. So it's a super cool way of actually getting feedback or doing little surveys and things like that. Cross-platform, we've done a lot around that as well. And so we're now in the same code base for Mac and PC, for example. So everything there is almost 100% the same, right? We always do some things a little bit different for Mac. But because it's on the same code base, you have all those same capabilities on there. I already, like you see in the picture, talked about Excel inside of Power BI. I talked about pushing your data model out there. But what you see in the picture is actually Excel online embedded inside of Power BI. You can also embed Excel directly into Teams, for example. And so there's a lot of different ways to work with your Excel files and publish them or let other people consume them in different applications. And the one I'll demo today is custom functions, which is actually really cool. So there's the new custom functions. They're JavaScript functions. They're built on the modern platform. Because they use JavaScript, you can then have your smarts and your logics be in Azure, for example, or some other backend that you like. And you can make some really cool applications and then have those be functions in Excel. And so you can basically create your own formulas and have them do really, really smart, cool things. Now, let me start demoing that for you. Let me open the file really quick and then switch to my demo environment. So in here I have, actually I'm going to demo two things. It's kind of, I'm going to show an add-in within an add-in type of thing. It's really cool. I don't know how many of you have learned heard of ScriptLab. And so ScriptLab is a free little add-in that you can download if you want to learn how you can actually extend Office, or in this case, how you can extend Excel. And so you can just go to the web, download the add-in, and you'll get this little button right away here, and you can run it. Now from there, you can actually learn what you can do with this platform. So first, you can open the code window, and in here you're going to be able to either just write your code right away, or you can go to a library of snippets that we already have available for you. What I've done in this case is I actually went to import, and I simply typed in the URL of a snippet that I wanted to use somebody else created for me. So we have strong GitHub integration, so you can actually point directly to GitHub if you're logged in. And in this case, I just pasted the URL to GitHub, and I got all the code here. And so here you see I have a custom function that will convert the date for me. And so really what this function does is it just looks at what is the time zone your date is in, and what is the time zone you want to convert it to, right? Just a little simple example one. Now then I can click on run, and you can then say I want to now run this code. You have other options in here to share and do some other cool things when you're done with this project. You can actually really create add-ins this way. And you see I have a couple of custom functions pre-installed here. They're all with the ScriptLab formula, right? This is not for production. From here you could take your code and make it production if you want to. Within ScriptLab, so you're just really playing around and testing the environment. But I have one here that did import HTML. And I wanted to point that one out because that was just a simple little add-in that we did, but it's based on an Azure app, right? And so in this case, what we're going to do, if I call that formula, it will send the URL to Azure. Azure will connect to that web page and scrape the tables off, and it will then take the table number that I said it will do. And you'll see that I've already done that here. So if I click on rank here, you see I have ScriptLab, import HTML. I gave it a wikipedia.org URL, and I said I want a table number 1. And if I do that, it will just go out and then try to fetch that data for me. So it will be getting the data. Let's see if the internet connection is fast enough for us today. There it goes. And it then actually loads it directly in here. Now, the reason I wanted to show that one is not that you couldn't do this a better way. Actually, I showed you a better way earlier. Get and transform is a way better way to get data from a web page into tables, because then you can clean them. But the reason I wanted to show this is this actually spills as an array. So if I type something in here, you get that spill error that you seen earlier. So this is actually a dynamic array that fills out and spills directly in there. So with custom functions, you can actually load to arrays, dynamic arrays that way as well, and actually get everything you saw in the earlier demo. Here you see the example from time. And so really all I've done in here is say script lab, look at this timestamp, and it's in this time zone, but I want it to be in the other zone, and I just did that for a couple of the formulas, and then it just calculates that right away, right? Very simple little demos, but you can make this super complex. The last thing I don't have in the demo itself that you can do with this that is really cool, you can actually stream data this way as well. So if you're connecting it to a live data source that is constantly changing, like we do demos where if you have machines that measure the temperature on your engines or stuff like that, you can actually stream that data directly into Excel, and you'll see the numbers constantly change. And so you can have a table with just the temperature of your engines and just have the numbers change, make nice little charts that actually keep going up and down and stuff like that. So a really cool way of getting real-time data directly into Excel. So that was it for custom functions. Let's switch back to here. We actually have a cool little video that I like to play from a partner that actually worked with this and did some really cool stuff. They're actually at our booth as well, so after this video, if you want to follow up with them, you can see that there.
Simbisa is a sensor array on a board. Each of these sensors are live linked through a add-in that goes to a custom function within Microsoft Office 365. What Simbisa does, it allows Excel to connect with the real world without any engineering or any specialist knowledge.
I work specifically on the device, the Simbisa device, and I developed the firmware for it. So the features we are more excited about the Office 365 are the streamed function, because basically it integrates really well with what we want to do with Simbisa. The great thing about the Excel add-in, it relieved us a lot of effort and development and time for everything that concerns the front end, and in the same way offering users a powerful tool to really manipulate their data.
So one of our retail customers here in the UK is John Lewis. The challenge John Lewis had is that they have to take ownership of devices that are going back to returns that may have sensitive data on them. What they are using Simbisa for is to attach the Simbisa device to a cage. And now just by doing that on a spreadsheet, they can now start tracking how that cage is moving through their internal network.
Simbisa is a great product for us for two main reasons. The first is that the tracker is really fully functioned. It gives us a very live and granular view of where the items that we're tracking. The second thing which is great about it is the integration with Microsoft Excel. The team in head office who look after this area already use Microsoft Excel for their analysing and interpreting of data that's going on within the return supply chain. The fact that the Simbisa trackers feed information directly through to the Excel spreadsheet on their desk means it's very easy for them to work live information into the analytics that they're doing.
So Simbisa is a bridge, or each cell actually becomes a window to the real world from within Excel. And that's super powerful. And if Excel didn't exist, it's not clear to me why Simbisa would exist.
So they have a great example of how to use custom functions and get that data in real time into Excel. So if you want to talk to them and learn what they were doing and how that works, or you can just talk to our extensibility team at the booth as well. They have a lot of demos about custom functions there as well. The last really slide that I wanted to just go through is which are the different SKUs and the benefits of Pro Plus. So we have a great booth. You can talk to us there as well if you want to learn about Pro Plus. And Pro Plus is our subscription version of the Office client. For example, if you have Office 365 E3 or E5, you get that as well. But I just wanted to show the different value adds that you get, right? And so in Office 2010, we introduced a whole host of new things, like spark lines, the backstage file tab, things like that. In 2013, we added object zoom, flash fill, which was a really favorite thing that people liked a lot. And on Office 2016, tree maps, tell me, things like that started coming. And this is not a full list of everything we've added, right? I could make pages and pages of all the new stuff. But just to highlight a couple of things. And then Office 2019 just got announced. And so you can now get Office 2019 Perpetual, things like 2D maps and funnel charts, the new Excel functions, focused inbox. Like there's a lot of cool click-to-run type of support in there. So there's a lot of cool things in there. But Office Pro Plus, the subscription version, is actually already ahead of the 2019 version that we introduced and released at Ignite. So if you have Office Pro Plus, the subscription version, you actually get Designer, you get Tap and Research, you get the data types that we demoed earlier today, you get ideas that we demoed earlier today, you get 3D animations, 3D objects in Excel, real-time collab, a lot of security things, and you can install it on 5 PCs. A lot of people don't know this, right? If you get Office 365 for your enterprise example, users are actually allowed to install that on 5 computers. They get the terabyte of cloud storage that they can work in OneDrive for Business, for example. You get fast track for deployment. Like there's a lot of benefits of being on the subscription version, and you're already way ahead of the perpetual release we just announced or released this week. There's a lot of different ways to stay connected to us. I just put the links in here, so if you download the deck, you can actually click on there and find them. But we have an Excel blog on the tech community. We actually have a pretty extensive tech community on there as well. Excel is one of the more active ones, so please join us in the conversations there and connect with us. We're actually on there a lot from the PM team, so we're really interacting with people. If you want anything to change or if something is missing in the product, 2 cool ways of connecting with us. First, if you need something new, if there's something that we're not doing, go to user voice, excel.uservoice.com. Either vote on something, most likely whatever you're looking for is already there, vote it up. The more it's voted up, we look at that, that's how we prioritize what we're working on. If it's something new, type it in, just publish it, other people will start voting it up. And that's how this stuff bubbles up. We look at that constantly. The other one is inside of Excel. You can actually send us, we call it a smiley face, but generally people do a frowny face because they send us a lot less like, hey, I'm super happy, thanks. But we get a lot of frowny faces back, which are actually really good for us. So you run into an issue, you have a bug, you have anything like that, click on the frowny face right away because we're able to pick up on, hey, what were you doing or what was the tenant that was having an issue, stuff like that. If you leave your email address, we'll actually contact you and let you know, but you don't have to. If you want to stay private and not share that with us, that's fine as well. But that is really what we're looking at, and we're constantly, like if a bug happens, people do frowny face, that day we're on top of that thing, and we're going to work and make sure we fix it right away. There's training, there's what is new, and all that stuff, so I won't walk through all those links. We have a lot of sessions happening today and Friday, so this was the kickoff session for Wednesday. We have the top 10 features you wish you've always known coming up. I already mentioned the Power BI, Excel, and Office 365 Better Together session. We have the Solution Palooza, which is actually all about the custom functions. So they're going to go super deep in custom functions and just demo a whole bunch of those. So if you were interested in that part of the demo, that session will go very deep in that. And then on Friday, we go way deeper on the dynamic arrays, the advanced analytics, get some really cool stuff there. And then Excel Online Anywhere session, so if you want to learn on everything that we're doing with Excel Online, a really cool function there. And then the last one, the new functions and capabilities in Excel. So it is the dynamic array session. That title was, we couldn't actually say dynamic array still this Monday, so that's why the title was a little obscure. But that's that session that will actually go into just that. So with that, please let us know if you like the session. Please make sure you fill out the surveys. It's really important to us as speakers to know if the session landed or not, if we should do it again next year, or if we should tweak it for you, stuff like that. With that, we'll take questions up front if you want. We're also going to be at the booth pretty much all day, and you can find us there as well with questions. So thank you very much for your time.